It has been almost a year since the deadly Guadalupe flood. It's tempting to look at the calm surface and assume the danger has passed. You arrive at the bank, the water looks crystal clear, and you have to decide, is it actually safe to get in? Most people hesitate because they're worried about residual bacteria from last year, the invisible leftovers of the flood itself. But in a flowing river, bacteria from a year ago have already been flushed downstream, diluted or killed off by sunlight. Judging today's safety based on how much time has passed is a mistake. The real threats are current, and they require a completely different way of looking at the river. We map the confusion by comparing assumptions with actual conditions. First, the flood altered the riverbed, leaving hidden debris in favorite swimming holes. Second, the river is acutely sensitive to recent rainfall. A small storm causes toxic spikes in hours. If you're heading back to the Guadalupe this year, you have to treat this familiar landscape as if you've never seen it before. When you go tubing or swimming, you're in direct contact with the water, which means there is a real risk of ingestion. Because of that, E. coli is the key indicator we use to measure safety. In the Texas Hill Country, a heavy storm sends runoff from the surrounding hills directly into the river, causing bacterial levels to spike almost instantly. To manage this, the Upper Guadalupe River Authority recommends waiting 5 days after a heavy rain before you get in. That window allows time for the river to clear out those new contaminants. This is a trade-off. If a storm hits on a Wednesday, you may need to cancel your Saturday plans, no matter how clear the water looks when you arrive. Visual clarity is a useless metric for bacterial safety. You have to know the rainfall history of the last 5 days to make an informed choice. Local veterans face a unique danger. If you've been coming here for years, your memory of the river might actually be your biggest risk factor. That flood carved out new scour holes, undercut banks, and created sudden drop-offs where the bottom used to be shallow and flat. For kayakers and tubers, the main channel may now be blocked by strainers, newly fallen trees that allow water to pass but will trap a boat or a person against the limbs. Locals have to actively discard their old knowledge of the river and slowly scout out every single location before getting in the water. Relying on what you knew about the river 2 years ago is a liability. That familiarity creates a false sense of safety in a physical landscape that has been completely reorganized. Divers are currently working to clear debris from 20 high-traffic areas, but the scale of the task is massive. Because of limited manpower and poor visibility, it will take 2 full years to finish the job, leaving large stretches of the river uninspected. Those uncleared zones still contain jagged rebar, concrete, and broken glass, hidden just inches below the surface. During a drought, low water levels expose these sharp hazards, while concentrating localized bacteria into smaller, stagnant pools. High flow conditions bring different risks. They hide the debris again, but the stronger currents can churn up contaminated sediment from the bottom. Since the hazard profile changes every time the water level moves, checking the daily stream flow is a mandatory part of your prep. Before packing, follow this safety sequence. First, rained in the past 5 days? If yes, postpone the trip. Second, swimming or tubing, you must check current E. coli data on UGRA River Hub. Finally, check UGRA stream flow gauges to avoid hidden debris or dangerous currents. This checklist is the only reliable way to judge safety. Trusting your eyes alone is no longer an option. For our locals, assume that every eddy and familiar swimming hole is different until you've personally scouted it this season. For visitors, ignore the water clarity. Bacterial safety is determined by the rainfall history of the past week. Enjoying the river this year requires sacrificing spontaneity. You have to trade that spur-of-the-moment feeling for data prep and constant scouting. The Guadalupe is open for recreation, but your safety depends on a daily calculation of the facts on the ground.